Here we are again, everybody.
Yes.
Another day, another podcast.
Yes.
This is Tina Buddy podcast.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Dominic. And this is the Accents one. This is the Accents of Our Language series.
Yes.
It's episode 4 now.
I think this is the last episode of this
The
series.
last episode.
Everybody shed a tear.
Yeah, crying because it's all over.
I am crying, actually.
Crying with happiness?
No, I'm crying because I don't want to do this episode.
Well, apparently you've got me going to do the accents.
Yes, it's got to be you.
It's got to be me, so...
No, I mean, this is an important one. If we're talking about language, you can't leave out accents.
Different accents.
Regional
accents.
accents.
Because we've got different accents.
We do have different accents.
We speak differently.
But I'm definitely not looking forward to trying to imitate some of the accents.
Oh.
And maybe we won't have to do too
We've got
much
a phrase.
of it.
We've got a phrase that we can try and do.
Okay.
It's gonna be cringy.
No, the thing is,
Slightly awkward, but it'll be all right.
the whole reason for this particular episode is because, as ignorant as I'm going to make myself sound, I hadn't really thought when I first met Dominic about there being a variety of accents across the UK.
You just thought it was one, or
Yeah, I just thought it's an
you
English.
thought it was two.
I thought it's an English accent, it's a Scottish accent, it's an Irish accent. Welsh, where's Wales? Never heard of it.
Irish accent. Well,
Don't know what.
there's
Don't
a
know
different
what Wales.
accent in Northern Ireland, which is actually part
Northern
of the UK, and
Northern
Southern Ireland
Ireland,
is
yes.
not part of the UK.
Yes, but I just didn't think about there being accents throughout England.
Yeah,
Especially,
there's a lot of them. I tried to. There's got to be about thousands of regional dialects.
Really? You think
Yeah,
that many?
That many. There's thousands.
There was
But,
an
I mean,
article.
There's general ones that you can always kind of like...
There was an article not that
Pick up.
long ago, though. I can't remember what paper it was in, but I remember seeing it online, actually, saying something about were regional accents and dialects dying out and being replaced by the one that we know in America, the just general kind of English accent.
Yeah, the received pronunciation, Queen's English type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, watching, like, Peaky Blinders, and I know it's a fictional show, and I know they can put these accents on, or, like, Game of Thrones, where there's a particular lot of people with northern accents. I don't think
It's
they're
not dying out, no.
I think,
It's changing, I'm sure, but it's not dying out.
I don't think that the people who live in those areas would allow them to die out.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, they're very, in Liverpool, let's say, they're very, well, okay, I'll come back. I just had another thought, and I'll have to come back to it. They're very proud of where they're from.
They're very proud of their
and
accent.
And the accent is completely,
Excuse me?
and the accent is completely part of that.
Yeah.
Part of where,
Yeah.
what my thought that I just had. I don't know why I had never thought that there might be accents in the a different accent from the north and a different from the south and a different from the west, or whatever. When I'm a Beatles fan,
Yeah.
because the Beatles didn't talk or don't talk like all the other English accents you see on television.
No, they don't, no.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure
None
why.
of them did, yeah. They all had like a northern accent.
It
wasn't... Some of the closest, if you're talking about the Beatles, the closest Liverpool Scouse accent was George, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had the thickest.
Yeah.
John, Paul,
Definitely.
and Ringo, well, they all had accents, but it was like...
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit more
Right.
lighter, or
Right.
mild, as you like to say
Mm-hmm.
about my accent.
Right. We should have asked some of our friends, some of our Twitter friends, to come on and
Do their accents.
yeah. I'm just thinking. We know people in Liverpool. We know people in Scotland.
Yeah.
We could have had people come on.
Could have had everyone.
Next time.
Next
maybe.
next time we do it.
Yeah.
For now, you've got to put up with us trying to do our accent, or trying to do your accent.
So yeah, so as far as not many different accents being represented on television or in films on this side of the Atlantic, I don't know what your perception of our accents in America was before you got here.
Mine was pretty much, I don't know.
You were aware?
I was aware of like the Texas accent and the Southern accent, you know, and the New York accent,
right?
You know, and maybe the Californian one too.
Mm-hmm.
But that was pretty much it. I mean, you know,
the Californian one. It's funny because the Californian accent. You know, it's funny because I was talking about the general English accent that we always hear over here. I think that the Californian accent is the general American accent that's portrayed.
The Hollywood kind of accent.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just like a generic, like...
It's generic, soft. It's...
Sort of in America, I would consider a California accent, for example, to be a non-accent.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
It's generic American.
It's generic. You just sound American.
Like
you can't really place...
British too, you know.
You can't really place... Aside from maybe language that they might use, that's just found sort of on the West Coast. I don't think that you would be able to 100% place where in the United States they were from, just by hearing a California accent. It's very just like, just American. It's just generically American.
Just generic, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, do we want to start by talking about some of the different British accents?
Well, yeah, there's several. I mean, there's just general ones, which are like, well, we'll kick off with London, which has got like a load of them. You know, I mean, the London accent.
I mean,
there's. Well,
I can sort of think about maybe like 3 different ones that are like popping out.
Posh received pronunciation, you know,
posh,
like for people who have, you know, like,
so like,
oh yes, hello, you know, the Queen's received pronunciation English.
So where's your phrase?
That one. Yes, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Jumped over the lazy dog.
Well, I mean, that's a milder version of like the Queen's English. Because oh, hello.
Right.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
And then the other one I was thinking of is Cockney. Also Mary Poppins.
You know, Mary Poppins, like, hello.
Eliza Doolittle, yeah.
Hello, Gov.
Yeah,
you know?
Yes. And when I say Mary Poppins, I mean Dick Van Dyke's.
Dick Van Dyke's. Hello.
Cockney.
Hello, Mary. How are you doing? All right. Yeah, okay. Chim chimaroo, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really do his, because it's just like, you know, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what accent that was. It wasn't really Cockney. It was something.
And then
there's something called multicultural London English now.
Okay.
It's a new kind of like accent, which is
what in God's name is
it's
that?
kind of like it's just like a blending of London with like the immigrant communities that have come in. You know, like Asian. You know.
Yeah.
Caribbean. You know, any kind of like all the immigrants have come in and have taken their thing, and it's like, all right, mate, you know, it's like, all right, yeah, okay, cool, you know,
cool.
It's like what the young kids are starting to start, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I know, mate.
Okay,
you know,
so
quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, innit?
So let's say, for example, the main young guy in The Kingsman. I can't remember the actor's name.
Taron Egerton.
Yeah, like
he's called Eggsy in the film. Actually.
Like his accent.
It's sort of like that. That's kind of like the London accent now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like cool and hip.
The London accent to me is more like how your sister talks. You know, like,
well,
I can't.
Are you gonna do my sister's accent?
I was going to try it.
My sister's accent. I mean, my sister is not from London. For everybody who's interested, she's not at all from London. She's from Inverness up in Scotland, but she does not sound Scottish one bit. She lives in Torquay, where I'm from, and in Torquay it's kind of like it's a melting pot for people. People don't really generally sound Devonian down there, they're from Devon, because Devon is like farmer country, you know, like, oh, ooh, are.
Is the
You got-
accent
oh, what
that
back?
strong? I mean, does it sound that much like, to me, that
Cornwall.
sounds more Cornish.
Yeah, Cornwall and it's Cornish.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rolling your R's. Like the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. That was terrible. It's kind of terrible
This is
for
an
me.
embarrassing episode.
It's
okay?
embarrassing for
It's
me
embarrassing and cringy.
because I can't do it. You see, I sound like I'm from Somerset. Farmer Giles, you know.
Which is funny because you were born in Torquay. So.
I was born in Torquay, but I sounded like my sister at one point. I sounded almost exactly like her.
Do
Because
your-
my sister sounds like that. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, what are you doing?
the quick brown fox.
It's kinda
jumped
like an
over the lazy dog.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's a lot like.
it's like
this
estuary English, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what does estuary mean.
It's kind of like how David Tennant's accent was for Doctor Who.
Okay.
You know, because he's Scottish too. And
Right.
he's like, hello, what's going on here then? You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you know what I'm talking about. You know, it's kind of like a London accent, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like anyone on the banks of like the Thames, around that things. You know?
Right.
But you know, yeah, my sister's just like, all right, how you doing? Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
It's really nice.
really nice.
Yeah.
And it's just lovely. It's just lovely.
Oh, it's lovely.
Get some
and it's,
buckfast down
really
here.
nice.
It's lovely.
Buckfast.
Yeah, I've been on the Buckfast, haven't I, Dom? You know,
Yeah. So if someone spoke like that, would you know where they were from?
not really. I mean,
That's like
I'd assume they weren't from London
I'm thinking that's
because I know a London kind of accent.
Okay.
You know, like, I'd assume like it was like Surrey or around the areas, you know, because, you know, like, well, Essex is like, innit, bruv? You know what I mean? You know, they got that kind of accent. It's kind of like really weird. And it's like, all right, yeah, what are you doing? You know, ooh, all right, mate, ooh, you know, mate.
Yeah. I'm sure people from Essex are going to really
They
appreciate that.
love me.
Okay, so then I don't know if the accent that you just did for your sister is the one that I'm thinking of that's in most of the
It's
films.
Happy
I don't
Days.
think so.
No, in most
think
of the
it's more
films,
like-
it's like,
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
it's very
it's
like,
a bit like
hello.
it's a sort
It's a bit-
sort of as you say, newsreadery. Like a newsreader.
Like a newsreaders used to sound very RP, very posh and very RP. And they'd sound a bit like that. didn't they,
Live from
today?
London tonight.
Live from London tonight.
So the typical what Americans think of as the British accent. British in quotation marks, because, you know, we think England is Britain.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, we know that. I suppose it's something kind of like my own accent, really.
I guess so.
It's just very generic British. You know, it's like, because my accent is very, because I lived all around
But
Britain.
your accent is so mild. It's like your accent, only a little more British.
Only a little more British. Yes.
Yes, only
like,
a little more
thickened up a little bit.
thickened. Yes.
Thickened up.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing now. Thickening it up.
Sort of, yes.
Sort of. Sort of thickening it up.
Yes.
And then, yeah, I mean, that's probably what everybody knows over here.
Yes, I think so.
Um,
And that's the generic.
unless they're a fan of, like, the Beatles or something like that, you know?
Right.
Like,
Where it gets crazy, though, is when we're talking about, speaking of the Beatles, shout out there.
woo!
How it varies from, like, Liverpool to Manchester because they're right
Manchester,
next.
yeah, it's just
because
like,
they're right next to each
they're
other.
right next to each other,
But
but
British-
they sound a bit like,
But
you know,
British people
Yorkshire.
will know. British people will know.
And they like, yeah.
To us, and I say
Alright,
us,
yeah.
meaning me specifically.
Because Manchester, you know,
I can't really hear much of a difference for the most part.
it's there. It's definitely there. You can definitely tell there's a difference.
I don't know.
there.
I think people from
Because
Manchester sound like people from Liverpool to me.
Because it's all up
Almost.
north, you see, and you know you could.
But
This
it's
because this
not-
is sort of
But
like
it's
a
not
Manchester
Jon
accent.
Snow North.
No, that's like Yorkshire.
Yes.
That's pure Yorkshire. That's I don't know where exactly Kit Harington's from.
Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Game of
by the way.
Thrones, yeah.
Little Game of Thrones reference for
Yeah.
you there.
because it's like watches on the wall. I'm trying to do his. I'm trying to get into his. Quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The lazy dog. The lazy dog. The quick brown fox.
You know,
jumped over the lazy dog.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but like if I can hear an accent,
you know nothing, Jon Snow. You know
nothing, Jon Snow. I can sort of do it if I have just heard it, like the second before. Then I can mimic it. But just to pull it out of my own brain,
I can't.
Happening.
I'm getting bad with doing that too. I can't. I used to be able to like pull out an accent.
You can do some of them quite easily. Yeah.
Like for example, we've done the Devon and Cornwall accent, you know.
Okay, just Birmingham. Let's hear you do a Birmingham accent.
Birmingham.
And Birmingham is just sort of west of London.
It's northwest, a little bit northwest. It's in the middle of it. It's
okay. So it's south of Liverpool.
It's in the middle of England, and people talk like that there, and it's very lovely, and it's nice, and you're either a yam, or you're from somewhere else in Birmingham.
If you you're from
Wolverhampton. If you watch Peaky Blinders,
yeah, you had to
Peaky Blinders.
You had to deepen your voice there.
Got to deepen your voice there. The Peaky Blinders, you know.
They're from
Birmingham. So yeah. But you know, Yam's accent, you know.
That's the accent, yeah.
There's different accents around Birmingham. You know, there's Wolverhampton. If you're from the Black Country, you might sound different. But yeah.
Next, Liverpool, and if you can't do this,
I can't do it. I'm afraid I can't do it. You know,
being a
Beatles fan, you know, I can't do it. You know, I'm sounding a little bit Yorkshire there actually.
No.
When I do it.
No, you sound like Jimmy Fallon doing a Beatles.
Jimmy Fallon doing a Beatles accent. You know, it's a hello there. How you doing there? Hello there. Yeah, I'm from Liverpool.
What do you always say about him? You say he sounds like the Yellow Submarine.
He sounds like the Yellow Submarine Beatles.
Like a caricature of.
All right there, lads. All right. Yeah, I'm all right. How are you? Yeah, all right. You know, you go into that kind of, you know what I mean, lad? You go into that kind of high voice when you're talking from Liverpool, because it's near North Wales and they kind of sound like that too. You know, and you got to go into that high voice.
Comment down below or tweet or Facebook if you heard last podcast where we were talking about whether Dominic sounds like a woman or not. If you think he sounds like a woman.
I'm going up there.
If you think he sounds like a woman now, go ahead and let us know.
Oh, yeah. It's, you know, because I'm in that higher register. You know what I mean?
What? Even men talk with that high register?
Oh, yeah. You're talking right now.
None of the Beatles.
None of the Beatles sound, you know, because George had this this all right. Yeah, and Ringo, too.
Ringo, yeah. Oh, that's right. Ringo's voice is quite deep.
Paul was very like, oh, yeah. No, it's all, you know, that's what he sounded like. You know. Quick brown fox jumped over the lazy
Paul
dog.
Had the least Liverpudlian accent of the four of them.
He was getting rid of his pretty quick.
But now it's quite strong sometimes when he
talks.
It's
very good feedback, you know. Yeah. I was down there, and yeah. Well, Yorkshire, the next one.
Yorkshire, yeah.
Yorkshire.
I love that accent.
The quick brown fox jumped over lazy dog.
Purely because it makes me think of Game of Thrones. I just like it.
Bagum,
yeah.
Lad. Bagum, lad. Quick brown fox jumped over lazy dog.
So are those the main accents of England?
Mostly.
I mean, well, what about? Remember that show we used to watch?
We've forgotten one. Geordie, and I cannot bring it to mind right now. I cannot.
Come on. Come on.
Why, aye, Teddy? Why, aye, Erica?
Gavro, if you're listening.
Gavro, if you're listening to me, you're not getting it. You know, I'm not getting it. I'm going back to Liverpool here.
Why, aye, man?
Why, aye? All right, all right, Teddy. Lovely Lovely. I can't.
What's the show?
Off we to St. Pat.
Off you to St.
Yeah,
Pat.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
No, that was a bit more Scottish.
Well, yeah, they say a canny. Yeah, that's it. Up there, yeah.
No, what I was going to say though is that show we binged at one time, My Mad Fat Diary. They had a specific accent too. Oh, and they were from where? Like around Nottingham or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, what was it?
Yeah, that was... Yeah, so see, we've got a little list here.
Got a little list of accents here. Why, aye, man.
Yeah.
Why, aye, man.
So basically, okay, so for the Cornwall accent, we're going to refer you to Doc Martin.
Doc Martin?
Or Poldark.
That tosser Doc Martin there.
I prefer Poldark if you're
Poldark doesn't... Accent. Well, I mean, I'm that glad.
Everybody
you can do Demelza.
Oh, I'm that glad.
Not glad. But I mean, Poldark himself sounds more...
No, but I'm talking about everybody else.
He sounds more generic British, you know. He's like, have a care, sir. Have a care.
Which is funny because Aidan Turner is actually Irish. So you're Irish.
He's like Southern Irish or something. He is.
I'm not sure where he is.
I think he's from he's around Cork or something. This is more Northern Irish. I'm going into more Northern Irish here, like from Belfast and stuff like that, you know.
Americans, here's another question for you. Do you know... Well, actually, go ahead and do Scottish. Let's hear your Scottish accent.
Well, from Glasgow, I know a guy in Glasgow. His name's Billy, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And I think I'm on the spot here, so I'm sounding terrible.
The Scottish is pretty good.
Highlands is a little bit different. Highlands. You're from up in the Highlands. They've got a bit of a higher register up in the Highlands, you see.
See, you are making the accents sound quite different between Scottish and Irish. I'm not so sure how great your Irish accent was.
My Irish accent is terrible. I've got to say.
But American listeners,
got to say there, Ted. My Irish accent is terrible.
Let us know. Tweet, Facebook,
so it is,
or email or comment below on the blog post. When I say comment below, I mean in the blog post.
Blog posts.
This is
www.tiandabuddy.com. So it is.
Let us know if you can distinguish between a Scottish and an Irish accent.
I can.
You can, I know. I'm asking American listeners to let us know if you just hear someone talking and the show or the movie or whatever you're watching is not set in a specific place.
Yeah, I think.
Can you go, that guy is Irish, or boom, that guy is Scottish.
Scottish. He's Scottish too. Yeah.
Because I have a pretty difficult time still with that one. I can usually...
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
The one thing that makes it apparent is the Irish really pronounce their R's.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know that
I can't get into that. Because, I mean, I've never been there for a start.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was only like 49 quid on a plane.
And you lived in Scotland, so your Scottish accent's quite good. And you also lived in Wales, so let's hear that one.
Oh, I can't do a Wales accent.
You can do a Welsh accent.
I can't do a Welsh accent for you now. No, I'm not going to do this.
We should have had Dominic's best friend on. It was so funny, you guys. Last time we went to Britain, and we hung out with Dominic's best school friend.
You're going to tell the story now.
Afterward, we went back to Dominic's dad's house, and he said, "Oh God, his accent has gotten thicker. It's really thick." And I was just like, "No, that's how he has always spoken. Like, that's how he sounds." It's funny to think you spending time away. I mean, you guys text and do the internet, talk on the internet and stuff.
Okay, we do the internet. Aye.
You don't really talk voice to voice. So you just being away for a few years, like you really heard his accent.
I really heard his accent, and I was
and
like,
it's like, oh, you never.
He sounds Welsh. Welsh. I can't do a Welsh accent. I can't do a Welsh accent. Boyo, I can't do a Welsh accent because I haven't been in Wales for a long time, see? And last time I was there, I went for fish and chips and faggots and peas, and it was lovely. Bloody lovely it was. And the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. You see? Yeah.
Yes.
And it was very lovely. It was very lovely. All the sheep were there. And I had a wonderful time seeing all my sheep. All my ex-girlfriends they were. Bloody lovely.
So we're quickly going to switch to American accents before we run out of time. And we're not going to spend as long on them because I don't want to.
I can't do them anyway.
And I think that everybody basically knows. I mean, there are a lot of different dialects over here as well. Aside from the main ones, I think. But I can't do them, so I'm not even going to attempt them for the most part.
Texas is going to be hard for me because I just want to do a southern accent every time I think of Texas.
And southern, you mean deep south?
Like deep south.
No, that's the Texas accent.
Is that more of a Texas accent I'm doing now?
That's more of a Texas accent.
That's more of a Matthew McConaughey accent, like, all right.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm doing a Texas accent for you,
and
people.
That's a Texas accent.
I'm in the groove. I'm groovy.
The deep south accent is more like this.
More like this, sir.
And you say like things like Georgia, and y'all come on over here. And when you get over here,
y'all get over here for some sweet tea and biscuits.
No, that you're going a bit Kentucky there.
Jackson Brittany do Kentucky.
You have the deep south. When you say deep south, and although I don't know why Kentucky's
Alabama.
I don't know why Kentucky. Yeah,
Alabama, Georgia.
I don't know. Alabama.
Left my home in Georgia.
No, deep
Headed
south
for
is,
the Frisco Bay.
Deep south is more like
there you go. That's my
North
song.
Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Alabama's more in with Kentucky and Tennessee. They have a different accent. The Kentucky is like it's real country, y'all.
Real
it's
country.
It's like
I don't know why I even bother coming here.
People hear it and they would probably think that's how we talk in Texas, but it's not. It's like
I don't know.
Completely
it's like on the Big Bang
exaggerated.
Theory when they had Sheldon's sister on.
No, she was doing a deep south.
She was
accent.
doing a deep south accent. She was like, "Oh, Sheldon, what you doing there, boy?"
No.
She was like,
Shelly, I don't know. Yeah, and that's like a deep south accent. It's just a totally different thing.
Well,
so you've got so in the south you've got deep south, and then you've got like the cluster of Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then you've got like Louisiana, which is sort
Tennessee,
of
like Elvis's accent, because that's kind of like, yes sir, yes ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
It kind of goes with the Kentucky one. It's just real nice, y'all.
Real
nice.
Yeah. We're gonna switch things up.
And
here.
people hear that and they think that that's like a Texas accent, but the Texas accent is not really that country.
Texas accent is kind of like Matthew McConaughey.
It's just more of a lazy accent in general. It's like. And I don't know, and I mean...
What's this now, Kentucky?
No, this is like the Texas accent. It's just real lazy. It's not as lazy as the Deep South now. It's just like...
lazy.
Deep South. You have like...
From my
and right, it's gonna sound more like right.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not quite as exaggerated as the Kentucky or Tennessee or any of that.
Okay, let's drive out of Texas right now.
Louisiana, though, I'm not even going to attempt it because
it's like French Cajun and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not even gonna
Louisiana. We're not gonna go there.
But Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, we all sort of sound the same. And then you go up a bit further north.
To
in
the
Midwest, you have like
gosh,
Chicago,
and oh my gosh,
Wisconsin, and they have their I don't know.
We were just kind of doing.
We're not from there.
We're just doing raging general stereotypes.
Very, 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 very general.
Boston is
and
like.
Erin is in Illinois. I think
Erin can probably do it. She can
And actually, so is Alex. So we have 2 listeners that I know of
Wisconsin
that are in the sort of Midwest area, and they're going to be
Illinois
really
offended by this and stop listening to us.
Offended is probably the correct word.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
But anyway, it's
I'm
sort
not
of
from
very
there, you know
general.
what I mean?
And then moving east, you have the New England accent.
Like the Boston accent.
Yeah, which is like Boston. And
Boston.
It's sort of like, I always think
it's sort of like a British American type. It's kind of like that kind of accent.
You can hear an Irish. You can hear a little bit of Irish in there. You can hear, I don't know, it's just...
Irish beat cap. I'm an Irish cop from Boston.
I don't know I don't know why you had to talk like this.
I'm doing a very good impression of Eddie Deason here. Yes. Who's from California, I think, so.
No, I think he's from Maryland, actually.
Oh, is he from Maryland?
Yeah,
oh, there we go.
There you go. New York. Everybody knows the New York accent. It's like, aside from the most general American accent, which is like what we're thinking California. And I guess maybe the way I talk, I don't know if we would consider my accent just a generic American accent, but New York is the most famous accent. It's like New York, and
New York.
You know, we're gonna go over there.
We're gonna calm down.
We're gonna order some pizzas.
Because that's what we do in New York. We just order pizza all the time.
The only thing we eat is pizza. Okay, no.
All the things we eat is pizza.
We really have to stop now because...
Californian, though. Yeah, that's really interesting. Californian. Because that's kind of like how it sounds, isn't it? Something kind of like that.
Sort of, yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, everything's a question. You know.
Oh, well, you're talking about, like...
The Hollywood.
Valley.
In
the Valley. The Valley girls.
Yeah.
Like, and
I just went down there.
And, like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Because I didn't even go there. So, tomorrow night when we get home, we're just gonna, like, eat pizza. And,
we gotta go to New York, eat pizza.
Actually, that's so not right. Because the new, like, twist on Valley Girl accent is the Kardashians. It's like that is the accent. Everything just sounds really like I don't know. Like I cannot even deal right now.
Are you tripping out?
Because like he was so rude and yeah, it's just
everybody was just
I don't watch the Kardashians rude. By the way, so if that's not like how they talk, then good, because
I think we've pretty much covered all.
We've totally embarrassed ourselves, and I never want to visit this topic again.
Oh, we are. We're gonna have actual people.
We'll have actual people next time who actually have these accents, because this was just horrendous, and I can just imagine people reposting this and us being like never able to return to Britain or America again. We'll have to move. I don't know. We'll have to move.
We'll have to move to the we'll have to move to the Caribbean, because the South will rise again, man.
The South will rise again, man.
What are you talking about? I can do a Southern accent. The South will rise again, man.
Little Friends reference for you.
Yes.
For you there.
Well, this was very illuminating.
You know what? You know how I said before, tweet or Facebook or any of that kind of stuff. How about you just don't for this episode?
Do it, please. I'd love to read all the comments. I'd love to read how people are very enraged by how we did on these accents. Especially British people. British people can rage like no other.
Yes.
They can get very irate about how you're portraying them and how I'm portraying them, because I'm not even British. Let's face it. We're going to stop this act right now. Well, that was painful.
You can expect a different topic altogether next time, because we're done with the language series.
And we'll be doing it in different accents too.
No, we really won't.
We'll just change up all the time.
If you, for some reason, enjoyed this content, go ahead and buy us a coffee if you like.
Please give us money for new accents.
And if not, then just keep listening, because we love that you listen. But we will not blame you if you never went to hear us again after this episode.
Yeah, they
because
will. They'll want to hear us because
the
they
most
can't get
cringy
enough.
thing ever.
They can't get enough of our English and American accents.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye, everybody. She's rushing me off here now.
Bye.
Goodbye.